think that's us. Good morning. It's KCHW 102.7, 724. Scott live in Chewila. My sister Val live from Deer Park. Good morning, Val.
Good morning, Scott. Hey, I can't see you this morning, though. All I see is your business
My logo,
cards.
I've decided I'm ugly.
Oh, okay. Well, I just missed seeing your face this morning.
Now I covered up yours. Oh, my gosh.
I can't see any of them. All I see is
All right, you want me to fix
cards.
it? You want me to fix
Please.
it? Oh, man. Do I have to?
Oh, well, there we go. There you are.
I'm not feeling that attractive today, but there you go. We have.
I like your glasses.
You do. I hate these. I hate black rimmed glasses. You know, it's kind of that retro thing. It's been going on for a few years, but I think everybody, the Drew Carey glasses, they got popular again, and they never went away. And including myself today, if you were watching online on Facebook or YouTube, I think I look stupid in black glasses. But thank you that you like them, Val. That makes me feel so much better.
I do like them. Yeah.
All right. Then you're really gonna like the Harry Potter ones I just ordered.
The round ones?
Yeah. They came with clip-ons.
No, I think those are kind of silly looking, but
yeah. Don't judge me.
I won't.
Okay.
I won't.
All right. Real curious if we have audio today. Don't judge me. There we go. We do. That's from the internet because it's late. See? So I could say things like that, wait a few seconds, and then just lift the volume and it'll play it again. That was cool. Don't judge me, Val. Don't.
Okay.
All right. But thank you for the compliment.
I'm a judgy type of person.
And I'd like to say then, and to return a compliment, hey, Val, I love your hat.
Do you like my Santa hat?
I do. It's not your typical Santa hat. There's some designs on it or something.
Yeah, there's like silver snowflakes.
Oh.
So, yeah.
It's beginning to feel a lot like Christmas.
I know, and the weather this week, we're going to get snow. It's going to feel like Christmas. We might have a white Christmas.
Really? I was being unenthused, actually, just pretending. Hey, you spend 2 years in a warehouse locked down and see how you feel.
I guess.
See how jolly you want to be. Oh. Yeah, I was getting excited, too, chatting with a new girl online. Chatted for a couple days, and then she ghosted me.
Oh, man.
Oh, I think she finally went back and looked at my profile and saw the height. Isn't that horrible?
Oh,
Short
man.
people got no reason. No reason to live.
See, it's okay for a girl to be short, but men have a tough time when they're short, don't they?
It is. I have to try like 3 times harder than all other guys. Because I'm 5'4". And short people die earlier too because we smell more farts.
I thought you were going to say armpits.
And armpits, but they're not. Well, it's a toss-up sometimes. Depends on the person. All right.
I wish I could say no. I don't wish I could say I feel your pain, but I sympathize.
You do? Oh,
yeah.
That's really sweet. Well, the thing that's going to make it easy is you know exactly what I want for Christmas. Let me do that rim shot again. Hold on. You know exactly what I want for Christmas. All right.
Last time I tried to help you with that, things didn't end so well.
Ooh.
The story you are about to see is true.
Yes. Val hooked me up with my third wife.
How many times do I have to apologize?
Don't go so well. I'm still suffering from that one. Oh my gosh. It never ends. But you know what?
Thank you so much for being my friends. You can do it!
It makes it all better. I love you regardless of who you set me up with.
Thanks.
You're
I
welcome.
appreciate that.
You're welcome. I forgave you a long time ago for that one, mostly.
Mostly.
You had no clue, though, either.
No,
Although
I didn't.
you did promise you'd never set me up with anyone again, but then there was one holiday dinner where there was a single lady there, and I noticed she was around my age, and you sat me right beside her.
Well, I didn't set anybody anywhere. I think you sat right
Oh,
beside
no,
her.
no, 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 no. Well, maybe. All right. Here, I'll play this one for myself since I'm being weird this morning.
Something's wrong with you. Really.
I've been locked down in a metal building for 2 years. Two.
Two.
Almost two. I'm counting it as two, though. I'm rounding up. All right.
Well, we're not far off. I stopped to think about something the other day, and I'm like, March will be like 2 months since all this started. I mean, since it really, we knew it was going on and it impacted us and we got locked down. I mean, 2 years.
The
coming
reason
up
why
in
I'm
March.
saying 2 years is because remember it was in Europe in December, and by February we were all scared.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
And by March 15th, we were locked down.
And a bunch of us were sure we already had it from a bad chest cold that came through in January.
Mhm.
Not so much, though. It's still happening. All right, let's take a look at weather real quick. First, 37 today, occasional snow showers. Let's see, chance of snow 50% today. Tonight,
Wow.
partly cloudy this evening, then becoming cloudy after midnight, low of 22. Here in the Valley in Chihuahua, kind of iffy whether it'll stick around at 37, but it's going to clear off and get definitely icy tonight, as it will every night this week. So if you do some nighttime driving, be aware there is going to be black ice. For Wednesday, 33 and 25, cloudy skies, just a 15% chance of precip. Thursday right now, 33 and 14, snow showers at 59%. That will stick around because Friday's 29 and 24 with more snow in the afternoon, right now at 30%. And looking ahead at next weekend, looks like a storm's coming in on Saturday with the high of 35, low of 23, and an 80% chance of snow Sunday, 33 and 21. So we finally got some wintertime temperatures, global warming giving us a little relief.
Yes. And thank goodness. I mean, I just know that 49 is really waiting to open and it needs some more snow to do that.
Yep. So I think they maybe by this weekend they should be good to go, and I heard that's when they're opening. I don't have proof of that, but there you go, ski fans.
Yay.
Yay! All right. Having lots of problems with the tower. And it's not transmitter problems, it's equipment problems. And the only thing I can guess, so I've had a few phone calls like, hey, you're off the air. And I just like to tell people, and Bob, that I really appreciate that. And Alan listens really well, too. And I know Mary Kay does as well. And that kind of saves me because when something's wrong, my phone starts ringing. And I'm like, oh, that was 2 phone calls in a row. And the first thing I'll do is run to the studio. And it's like one of our audio connections have come loose. And it's on a box that receives internet streams. And I'm thinking it's obviously the thing it's when you're remote accessing, trying to figure out stuff that in a building you can't get into, is I've deduced that it is coming from this box that picks up internet streams and sends them to the transmitter. But I was able to bypass it and go to the computer and just play our internet stream on the computer through a media player, like Windows Media Player. And,
Okay.
But it keeps shutting off.
Oh,
It's like it'll run for like 10 hours and then and there's an auto reconnect feature. Doesn't work.
of course not.
So I got real clever and I found an app online because you can find anything online. I'm seriously beginning to believe that I could probably find some plans to build a working spaceship because there was this one, I was like, there's got to be some kind of like silence detector out there. And sure enough, I found a silence detector and it'll send me an email if it detects no volume on my computer. Up there.
Wow.
So I thought, well, that's really cool. And I was just guessing there might be something out there like that, and there was. And it was free, which is the best kind of software for Scott. But then I realized once you put in an email address and something like that, it takes like 3 minutes for an email to get to you. Well, that's a lot of dead air. So then I was thinking, well, I email my phone all the time, and I put my phone's code in there, and for an email. And so, like when we go off the air and the audio stops, I get a text if I have my phone on me within 30 seconds.
Wow.
It's those times I haven't had my phone on me that get a little annoying. So
Oh, you'd give MacGyver a run for his money.
and I've always kind of been that way where if you give me a nickel, I'll like stretch it into 4 dimes and a penny and hook up something electrical to it. So
And get electrocuted in the
yes,
process.
there is so much software and things that I found to run the radio station that are free. That it gets kind of ridiculous. Free or very, very low cost. Like I found a streaming service for our phone apps. It's $5 a month. Doesn't get much cheaper than that.
No.
The software that plays the music and stuff here at the radio station every day, it's free. It's called Zara Radio, and it's out of Italy, and they give away a free version and the paid version, and it's not much different than the paid version. It's free, and we use that typical radio station software, 10 grand.
Wow.
We'd still be saving. So there's lots of things through research and diligence and people that believe everything should be free, kind of like public radio. That people have put out there, and it's very cool. Just like this silence detector that somebody wrote the code for this little program and then said, "Here, everybody."
That's pretty cool.
It is.
When I worked at the school district in Springdale, I found this great free program that would let me remote into every computer in the district, and that was all free. And then I had one that was like a work ticket type of can't talk
I know what you're
type of
talking.
program, and yeah, that was free too. So when you work for a small school district that has no money, you need to figure out those things too.
Yeah. Yeah, totally cool. I love the free software and the people that put it out there. It's amazing. Those free remote access ones I started out with, it was a company called Go to My PC or something like that. And it was free. Now they charge. Then I switched to AnyDesk. It was free for about 3 years. Now they charge. So I keep
Of
having to
course.
go to find the startups that are offering their service for free.
Yes, and that was the one that I had was great. I mean, with the school district, I could be logged into 10 computers at a time, updating them all at once. And so that was a lifesaver when you have like 350 desktops for one person to try to maintain.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
All right. Love the freebies on the internet most of the time. Let's see. A few news stories from today that caught my eye. What do you think about the billionaire who blasted into space?
Which one this time?
A Japanese billionaire currently on the International Space Station. Get this. He brought Uber Eats with him. Oh, he's the hero of the space station.
Bet.
He spent over $80 million on this trip.
Wow.
He defended
Wow.
he defended the cost, saying those who criticize are perhaps those who have never wanted to go to space. Duh. Wow.
You know, that whole thing, it's like, can you imagine being able to just spend 80 million and not even miss it because it's really something you really want to do?
Wow.
That's crazy.
Yeah. He said, once you're in space, you realize how much it is worth it by having this amazing experience. And
Oh,
as I like to say, as I set it on fire, it's only money. I just burned your Christmas present, by the way. Sorry.
yeah, was it money?
No, yeah. But, well, I was going to take money to buy it.
Oh,
All
okay.
right. He also acknowledged the steep price of space tourism and also noted the physical toll of the trip, telling the AP, yes, it's rather expensive, but it is not only about money. It takes time for your body to adjust in this environment, and the training for emergencies takes a few months. So honestly speaking, it is only accessible for those who have the time and are physically fit and those who can afford it. But we don't know if it's still going to be the case in 10 years or 20 years' time. He blasted it into space last week for a 12-day trip, so it's like a real vacation.
Wow.
Except you can't go out the front door and hang out on the beach.
You know, I guess I didn't know you could do like a tourist flight to the International Space Station.
You're going to start saving now, aren't you?
No. I would be dead way before I'd ever be able to save that kind of money.
I saw a scary story this morning.
Uh-oh.
Yes. Doomsday Glacier.
Oh.
Oh, man. We got a glacier that they say could collapse in the next 5 years. Scientists have detected new cracks in the key ice shelf that buttresses Antarctica's Thwaites Glacier, indicating that the ice shelf could break apart within the next year to 5 years. Why it matters: the destruction of the ice shelf could accelerate the movement of inland ice into the sea, eventually causing sea levels to rise by several feet and endangering coastal communities worldwide much earlier than they ever thought. The Thwaites Glacier is known as a doomsday glacier due to the possibility that it may already be past a tipping point into a virtually unstoppable runaway melt. Roughly the size of Florida, the glacier meltwater already contributes to 4% of global sea rise. The eastern ice shelf acts as a brace, preventing faster flow of meltwater from the glacier, and the shelf is held in place by an underwater mountain. This is all according to the University of Colorado Boulder. The part of the ice shelf was previously thought to be stable until scientists took new measurements during a field campaign over the past couple years. This means that the warming ocean water is melting the ice from below. That's why it hasn't been noticed. Meaning the shelf is gradually losing its grip on the underwater mountain that holds it in place, and satellite imagery has now revealed fractures in the shelf. Similar to growing a crack in the windshield of a car, slowly going crack means the windshield is weak and a small bump to the car might cause it to break the rest of the way. The breaking of the ice shelf will increase the flow of ice off Antarctica. It says the big picture: the glacier is situated in a deep basin, so if it collapses, neighboring glaciers would follow. And over the next few centuries, it could lead to the loss of the entire Antarctic ice sheet.
Wow. Wow. No, I was having this conversation the other day, and I was like, it's hard not to start feeling a little bit hopeless at times. I mean, between global warming and you see how things are going in that direction. I mean, we're basically at an avalanche situation, right? I mean, you look at the glaciers and stuff like that, and our politics, our democracy in this country, and I'm feeling a little bit down about the whole thing, I guess.
Yeah, we got a lot of people that want to stick their head in the sand and pretend it's not happening when you can see it all the way around you, just locally. What we've went through in the past few years with forest fires. Another 10 years, all of our trees are going to be gone. Think of that.
Right. Well, and when I was skiing back when Brad and I first met and the kids were young, we were skiing by Thanksgiving. And so now I don't know when the last time was that they could open in time for Thanksgiving. So even that is a big difference.
I think I came up with a good way to look at it, because the problem was making it political.
Mm-hmm.
Is that whether you want to believe it's real or not, we're humans, we make garbage, we build things, and they cause changes. And whether it's a natural progression of the planet, which it probably is. It's went through several ice ages and periods of greenhouse. But the thing is, I think if we all took a step back and said, what's the right thing to do, though? I mean, most of us as adults have children, nieces, nephews. What kind of world do we want to leave for them? So instead of making it political or arguing whether it's man-made or it's a planet, let's just do the right thing and make the smallest impact that we can as humans on this planet, because there's too many of us. We're like rats in a maze. We're consuming everything. We have to be smarter about it, or we'll run out.
Yes, I agree completely.
And there are ways to do it. Let's stop. I don't know. There's so many things we could stop doing. That like, because we realize the plastic problem, and that's the one thing nobody argues about, the plastic problem. You kind of go, yeah, there's plastic everywhere. Makes sense. I've seen fuzzy plastic before, flakes coming off a plastic bowl, and never thought anything about it. I've seen a bag in the lake deteriorating, never thought anything about it. Well, now we're partially plastic.
And we're not even recyclable.
Yeah, so I don't understand when we come across things like that, why we just, charging for bags is not an answer.
Yes.
We have to stop making plastic and make something else. It doesn't have to be the end of the world, for a plastic company. There's other things you could make plastic out of, like, oh my gosh, hemp? Oh. It's ridiculous that we're going to keep these old systems, which are harmful, in place when there's systems that it could be replaced. I don't care if it takes a government intervention to help retool a factory from making plastic out of oil into making plastic out of non-toxic hemp oil. The government can bail them out. I don't care. Print more money. You do it whenever you want.
Exactly. National debt, who cares?
Print more money. Fix the problem.
Well, you see things like, and I don't know if a lot of people realize this because, I mean, for so long we were like, recycle glass, recycle glass, recycle glass. And nobody will take it. I mean, the only people that would take our glass for recycling was China. Well, we see how well that's working for us right now. So we can't even get China to take our glass. And so, I mean, that is huge. The way that is piling up, and what do we do with
Giant
it?
cubes. Have you seen it? It's crazy. It's like you could build block houses out of it. Giant blocks of green, brown, and clear glass. I've seen them sitting over in Seattle, like in a port, just piled up like skyscrapers. And that was years ago that was going on. Yeah, so we started recycling all this glass, but we didn't know what to do with it afterwards. Why aren't plants that making bottles taking this glass and reusing it?
Right. It's supposed to be recyclable, so figure it out and do it.
If it's something that's make it mandatory. They love to make things mandatory. Make it mandatory. They have to buy recycled glass. You'd see it getting used really fast.
Well, and then look at what's replaced it. Because we're not recycling it.
Oh, yeah.
Plastic. So we got to get to some point where it's not what's cheaper, what's better for our environment.
Exactly. We've sacrificed. I mean, that's why we haven't enjoyed, during the Bush and Trump presidencies, both times, a couple major climate action summits took place. And America bowed out of both of them. And back then, Bush said it was too high of a cost for America to do these climate change initiatives. And it just shook my head. I went, how does he sit down at Christmas and look at his kids? Mm-hmm. I mean, how do you do that? Sorry, we're going to save the planet for your kids, but it costs way too much money. So we're just going to let it go like it is.
There you go.
What's that? That's ridiculous. It's short-sighted. There we go.
It is short-sighted.
Should we keep beating it with a drum before people drive by and throw a pie at me?
That's right.
I'd really like some pie.
As long as they're throwing pie and not something else.
That's right. So anyways, we started off there with that glacier. And yeah, just here you go on KCHW, more things to be scared of.
That's right. Let's just feed the fear.
Yes, feed the fear. Headlines this morning: Americans plan social holiday season despite Omicron. Recent poll suggests many Americans aren't shrugging off the threat of a new variant, but rather believing there are ways to mitigate it. That's because we're tired of it. Mm-hmm. Coming out of a new study out of Great Britain, 2-dose vaccine regimens do not induce enough neutralizing antibodies. You will need a booster to stop Omicron, or however you say it. All right.
And there's so little, I mean, there's a lot of theories, there's a lot of supposition. I mean, right now it looks like it's more contagious, but not as deadly. But yeah, okay, so it's mutated. I mean, we've got the mutation that led to Omicron, however you say it. And now, I mean, so what if that mutates? I mean, there's so much unknown. Where does it stop?
It is, and I'm going to tell you, it is going to mutate, and who knows how long it'll keep going. And the reason why, and it's not just in America, it's global. If you, we were talking during the news, but I had listened to it earlier this morning as I was getting ready. I usually do that just so I hear a few of the world events that are going on. It isn't just America that's refusing to take vaccines, or Americans. They were talking about Congolese and how they got a bunch of free vaccines. They have 600 new cases of Omicron for last week. And that half the population is scared to take the vaccine. So it isn't just, it's everywhere. Over the weekend, Great Britain is going to do, they passed mandates. I mean, they are going to force people you can't get into a nightclub unless you have you can show all your documents that you're vaccinated and stuff. So they're putting in some really strict rules, and people were rioting over the weekend, protesting, I should say.
Yes.
Some got arrested, but I don't know if that qualifies as a riot. But they were protesting. So it's not just America. You have half the globe that doesn't want to get a shot, and I don't know. I don't
I
know.
look at it, you can see these third world countries that probably don't have people that are more educated and they don't have access to the science behind the vaccines. And so you can see, that leeriness on that end. But I feel in this country, we have access to the scientific data behind this. And so we have the education here. We have the intellectual process. And so for us to kind of take that idea that this is a hoax or that the vaccine is dangerous. I mean, we have the ability in this country to find facts, not fiction. And so, I've said before, and I'll say it again. I trust the science behind it. That makes sense to me. It's logical.
I don't. Even though I've
You
been
don't trust the
vaccinated,
science?
not at all. Because our country, industry, I shouldn't say our country because it's global and now everything's pretty much made outside of our country. We have never invented anything and put safety first. We always find out afterwards that there's a problem. No matter whether it's a drug, vehicles, or whatever, we always jump on the great idea and then figure out the problems that it caused afterwards. So, no, I don't trust it. And I still did it because I wanted to protect those around me. And I figured it is just a vaccine. We've been vaccinated in this country for schools, for military, and everything. It's nothing new. So when I looked at it, I don't have to understand the science. It just, at least for me, felt like the right thing to do. Now, I have some friends that will not get it. And I support their choice not to get the vaccine. What I can't support is when they say, I have a right to keep my job. They're going to force me at my job to get a vaccine. And they're violating my freedom and all that kind of stuff. No, your rights under the Constitution do not give you the right to make someone else sick, potentially take their life. That's not your right as an American. You don't want to wear a mask. Your right is to stay home. You don't want to get vaccinated and your job's requiring it. Your right as American is not to force the government to let you keep your job. Your right as an American is to go find a new one. That's your
Exactly.
choice.
Well, working in the school system for a lot of years, I had to show that I had my childhood vaccines in order to work at the school district. That's nothing new. So I don't understand this thought that and rights are now being infringed upon by employers. No, I mean this has been going on for years, forever.
Yeah.
And so it's not anything new that you're required to do something to protect your fellow employees. It'd be like saying, oh, it's okay for somebody working at a propane factory to smoke their cigarette because that's a right. you know? So, there has to be, I don't see, it's an employer's right to say, no, you can't work here if you haven't had it. You can say how many times have employers said you can't have a mustache, you can't have facial hair.
I had to
You
cut.
can't
I
have
had to cut off. I had long hair and had to cut it off to get a job.
Right. You can't have tattoos that show. Some places require a dress code. You know that that's a requirement of your employment. So if you don't like it, find a job that doesn't require those things.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, and the way at some point you made a choice to serve others in your career choice, and if that has, times have changed, and if that choice has changed and you can't make it anymore, I don't know. Then you've got to make a decision, and I don't think the government should force people to let you keep your job. I think your freedom is to go find a new one. Like I said, I don't know. Now, and back to what you said, do I trust the pharmaceutical companies? Not at all. They sold out to China. They got all of our drug, and people worried about China wanting to kill us. If they wanted to kill us, they could have done it 20 years ago because they make
exactly.
all of our meds.
Not just our meds, our food, or not our food
Our
necessarily,
kids'
but
toys.
yeah, our
No,
kids' toys.
they are making our food too.
Yes.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
look at the recalls on dog chews or whatever it is.
Shards of
Yes.
metal dog chews. I love those.
uh, yeah, and I think a lot of what we're experiencing right now as far as shortages, if we had things made in the US, we wouldn't be experiencing that. But at the same time, so much of our raw material comes from China. Um, People want things cheap. And so we can all, and I'm guilty too. You can all turn a blind eye that it's coming from China because you want it cheaper. So, yeah, I
You
mean,
know,
that's what we get.
one thing I was going to say too about the third world countries that are for the people there, it's still about 50-50 of people that'll take the vaccine and people that are scared of it. They actually have a reason not to trust us. I mean, we've taken advantage over so many countries over resources and, testing throughout the nuclear era when we first, look at all the testing and polluting we did with nuclear bombs as we tested them over and over and over. And actually radiated people to see what would happen. They have no reason to trust us.
Well, I would
Oh,
hope at least we have gotten more conscious of things like that. I mean, as you gain more information, as you gain more knowledge, hopefully we make better choices, right?
yeah.
I mean, back when they were doing those, that nuclear experimentation with nuclear bombs, at that point I don't know. I don't know if I should say we didn't know any better because we knew we were killing people.
No,
But it,
we were pure evil, Val. There's no
yeah.
other way to do to chop
But
it up.
I'm hoping at this point, we've realized that that's not sustainable for humanity or our country even. So I would hope that we make better choices as we gain more information, but not always. So I will give you that.
Well, and we've reached that point where everyone knows somebody who's died of COVID now.
Hmm.
Hard to deny.
Yeah, and I
And
think
they
it's hit
well, they had health problems. Yeah, but would the common cold have killed them? Didn't they have a
right,
common cold last year? They were still here.
right.
It's hard to pick out.
And then, for the community of Chihuahua, a small community like that, and somebody that was well known, to lose someone like that, I would imagine
It's
it
really hard.
really hits home for your community.
Yes.
So,
Yes. All right. Something else that's new with it, if things weren't bad enough. So there's a COVID-19 symptom called the parosima. And this is worse than the loss of taste and smell, which I have a buddy who had COVID now, I'm going to say 2 months ago, and still does not have his sense of smell and taste back. He's
wow.
worried. He's worried it's permanent. Well, the CDC just acknowledged another side effect, this parosima, and it's similar, but you can taste something. It tastes like sewage or garbage or maybe even gasoline, people claim. There's a Facebook thing for it. CDC has acknowledged it, and yeah, they don't know how
Well,
long it's going to last either.
and I know several people that have had COVID that say, yes, they did get their sense of taste and smell back, but some things, not everything, but some foods taste horrible. I mean, our nephew said turkey for him, he cannot even stand the smell. And he said the taste is horrific, tastes like some sort of chemicals. So, yeah, I do know people that have that experience of, yep, we got it back, but it's
Yeah.
not what it used to be.
One person says water never tastes clean, and the smell of deodorant is as severe as spray paint.
Wow. Wow. So they're going to smell like they haven't been wearing deodorant
Yeah.
because they're not wearing it when it smells like paint.
Well, they
Oh,
say the problem for this is it can, believe it or not, because our lives are so centered around food
hmm
that people that are suffering from this, and it in some cases even causes nauseousness, of course, when they try to eat that food and stuff. They said it's got just a litany of things that it can cause you'd have, and probably the biggest one is depression, because so much
I was gonna
of what we do is circled around food. They said the malnutrition is a big thing for these people because they can't find things to eat that they like, and everything tastes bad, and severe weight loss, which. Can I have it for like a month? Can I have it for like a month?
Yes.
I need to lose about 10 pounds here.
And not to try and compare this, but I have a nerve issue with facial pain, and how it manifests for me sometimes is weird tastes. Some people that have this variety, everything tastes like metal. And I don't get that metallic taste, but I've just got weird stuff that shouldn't taste like fish, tastes like fish, and I hate fish.
Ew.
And so, so just those nerve issues can cause kind of a misfiring of messages to the brain. So, I mean, I can't imagine, and that's what it has to be, is they're seeing how much damage COVID does to the brain. And so, I can see that.
So is there any answer to all of this vaccine stuff? My answer, no. First U.S. vaccine mandate, 1809. What's happened since then? 200 years of court battles. All right.
Even the 1918, 1919 pandemic, there was the protests in the street over having to wear masks. There was protests over vaccines, all of that. So even in that 100 years, nothing has changed.
But even there in 1809, I wasn't going to read this story, but same thing. People were unhappy about it. They were fighting something called cowpox. If you
I don't know how that's different than smallpox.
I don't know. If you look at my belly, you'll definitely know what cowpox is. I think I might have it.
And that's just hoof and mouth.
Sound like foot and mouth? Because I know I got that. All right. Shall we move along to bits and breaks this morning? And see if we got any goodies for the folks. Let's see. What did I do with my wedding dress after the divorce?
Used it for fire starter?
Yeah. And it says for both men and women, what about the wedding rings after the divorce? I don't have any of my wedding rings. I don't know what happened to them. I can't remember.
Oh, that's interesting.
I do have one shirt from a wedding, and I just kept it because it was a really cool shirt. But I don't think I've ever actually worn it again.
Yeah.
Because it was, we got dressed like Old English, like Victorian.
Medieval type of?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's like a fencing shirt, with the poofy sleeves.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like where you sword fight with. And so I just thought it was cool. I've just never worn it again. It's not something you wear around Chihuahua without people talking. Do you like my fancy shirt? On go.
I challenge you to a duel.
I challenge you to a duel. All right. Val, when can I finish off the leftovers?
Are we still talking about Thanksgiving leftovers? Because those should have been thrown out a long time
Oh,
ago.
oops. Okay. I think any leftover. All right. When should we throw them out?
I have a strict 4-day rule.
A strict 4-day rule. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So yesterday I polished off the last couple pieces of pizza, and a couple hours later I was asked where the pizza went. And the pizza had been in there for 5 days. Is that okay?
And this was years ago. They, I don't know, some news program did this test with a family, and they, with their leftovers, they tested them every day for the increase in bacteria. And pizza actually was good up to 7 days because of the tomato sauce, which is extremely acidic. And I thought that was really interesting. So pizza, you probably can get away with doing something like that.
Oh, excellent. I'm not going to be scared of it anymore.
Well, think of how many people leave their pizza out on the, I'm talking probably college kids, leave their pizza out on the counter overnight and get up and have it for breakfast.
Now, that probably would not work. No. I ate chicken and rice that was 4 hours old. I didn't know it was 4 hours old when I ate it.
4 hours old?
4 hours old.
Okay. Oh, out on the counter for 4 hours.
Out on the corner for 4 hours. I was not told. And it didn't go well.
Something went well.
So
just not what you wanted it to.
Pizza might last for a while, but chicken and rice, 30 minutes. That's all I'm saying, 30 minutes.
I have so many friends, too, that leave their food out to cool for like hours. And I'm like, and then they'll want to, they'll say, like, do you want to take these leftovers home? And I'll be like, no, I'm fine.
I'm good. I got so much food. And your fridge is empty. All right, Val, on to bits and breaks. What do you got up there on your screen?
If your childhood had a smell, what would it be?
That's tough. Play-Doh.
Oh, yeah. Everybody can remember the smell of Play-Doh.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
Is that a good one?
That is a good one. And I have one that's probably more specific for our family. But the smell that I can remember is walking into Grandma Kirk's house because she cooked on an old wood stove.
Oh.
And just that smell, especially what she used to make, we called them grandma noodles, but it was basically homemade chicken noodle soup, but she made the noodles herself. And so the wood stove smell and the grandma noodles on the stove, that's a smell that sticks in my brain.
All right.
Yeah.
Huh. I can't think of any other ones.
Play-Doh was a good one, though. I wouldn't have thought of that. But yeah, I mean, you can pull up that memory right now, right?
Yeah, and you know what was weird is that I had to always fight the urge to eat it. It just smelled like something I should be eating.
Remember when we got a little bit older, they had the like the Sharpies and stuff that had a smell?
Oh, yeah. Wonder how...
So if you had, purple Sharpies smelled like grapes. They probably had to quit doing that, though, because kids were eating them.
Well, not only that, there was probably some fumes coming off, because you've smelled a Sharpie before. There's probably some very dangerous chemicals in there. And me and my sister spent a lot of time huffing Sharpies.
That explains a lot, doesn't it, people?
Yeah, well, when they put the ones out that smelled, like you said, like cherry and grape and stuff, you're like, oh, and they smelled good. But who knows what we were putting up our noses. That's like, and I'll probably get sued for this, but I don't care. That's like all these commercials for Febreze. Are people buying these chemicals and just spreading them all over their houses for their families and their pets to absorb? Really? Because, I mean, the amount of Febreze commercials that I see, they want you to spray it on everything now, right? And they want you to plug it into the wall by the cat box. And they want you to do this and watch for the little blue light so you know when to replace it. Really, people? Stop buying that. It's chemicals. Really? It goes on fabric and traps the odors? Okay, then what happens to it?
They're supposed to fall to the ground so you can vacuum them up.
Oh, I understand the science.
But you don't believe it.
No, what I can't believe is people will cover up their stinky house with dangerous chemicals. Or something you know nothing about. And we don't really test our cleaners. We don't know what the long-term side effects of any of that stuff is. Once again, the dollar wins.
Of course it does.
Of course it does. What were you thinking, Scott? All right. Somebody tossed that up on Facebook. Val, tell us about some of the best advice people have ever received.
Okay. According to a couple of people on Facebook, here are a few of those. My older brother once told me this: if you have a problem in your relationship and you haven't told your partner, it's a you problem.
Huh.
It really forced me to work on communicating better. Were you good at communicating with your exes?
I No. No, I would like so guys will always say, here's what guys will say. It's like, I was talking to her, man, and I was using common sense. Doesn't apply. I would say I tried to talk common sense a lot, but it never worked.
Maybe it's a you problem.
I think so.
Here's
I'm perfect in every way.
That's right. Here's another one for you. The money you save buying bad food will later be spent on hospital bills.
Oh, thanks a lot. I'm 80% bad food.
That junk food, right?
Yeah.
Cheap and easy. Another thing is to act broke to stay rich.
Ooh, yeah. Pinch those pennies.
Well, we all know those, especially we get into the elderly people, I think, where they act like they are broke. And I know 2 people that live really close to me who do that. But
Mom, Dad.
but I mean, they probably have the money they do because they act like they're broke all the time.
Oh.
So,
You know, if you're going to act like you're broke, though, and you're our elderly, plan ahead. Because don't what happened to our parents.
mm-hmm.
Happened to yours, where they acted broke so they could set on all this money, and so they could leave it to their kids. And then one of them got sick, and then the state of North Dakota came in and took all their money. For 8 years. I mean, how many years was Dad in an old folks' home?
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah, it wiped out their life savings that they wouldn't go on a trip. They're pinching pennies. They're not going on vacations. They just think they had to leave all this money to their kid. And I'm their kids, and I'm saying go out and have fun, but they never did. So, and then one of them ends up in an old folks' home, and then you lose all your money because it's like $8,000 a month.
Right. And my thing is always, I'm not leaving my money to my kids. I'm going to spend it on the lot.
Me too.
And I think that's kind of, Brad's parents too is so you're 80. What are you going to spend? It's like, buy that thing you want to buy. You're 80 and you're not broke. And so, enjoy those last years. You have the money to buy the things you want. Buy it.
Yeah. The only way my kids are getting any money is if I die suddenly. Otherwise, I'm spending it.
That's right. Spending it. Let's go to the last one on planning a wedding. You must do 2 things: get married and throw a great party. Everything else is details. And when something unexpected happens, save it for the stories afterwards.
Oh, yeah. And then if you're the DJ, never hand the microphone to the drunk uncle.
Yes.
Just saying.
That is so true.
Not that ever happened at a wedding that I DJ'd, but I'm just saying.
Never.
Yeah. No, I actually got that advice early on from somebody when I first started. It's like, yeah, you're out doing these weddings, sooner or later, somebody's going to accost you or try to forcibly take the mic or get their hands on the mic. Never let the drunk uncle, never let drunk anybody touch the microphone. In fact, never let anyone touch the microphone unless the groom or the bride say it's okay. And I'm like, good advice.
There you go. Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, I've been at weddings where that has happened. I've been at a wedding in the last few years where my son's ex-girlfriend thought she should get up when the DJ walked away and put on the music she liked.
Ooh.
And I'm like, first of all, you shouldn't be touching his equipment. And second, guess what? The bride and groom get to choose the music they like.
And that's probably the list he was playing from, too.
Exactly. So, yeah.
All right. Road rage retaliation. What we do when we're confronted with road rage. Full 50% of drivers respond with a little aggressive driving of their own. How do we do it? 34% of us honk our horn. 27% of us will yell out the window to them. 17% will flash their headlights. 7% mimic the aggressive action. 2% actually admit to trying to run the aggressor off the road.
Oh, wow.
And then I saved this one because I'm pretty sure you fall into this category. 19% give them the finger.
I resemble that remark.
All right. I'm surprised it's just 19% because any of those other ones, like flashing your headlights or mimicking the aggressive action, you can give the finger doing all of those things too.
You can, yeah, simultaneously.
Yes, you can. So never fear. Pretty sure you can work it in.
Whew.
Woo.
I'm so glad I
Woo.
have multiple
Woo.
choices.
What's your favorite thing to do when somebody cuts you off, Val?
I usually end up screaming at them within my car. You know, it's not like I open up the window and yell, or for the majority of the time, but I'm in the car going, "You are so stupid, get out of my way." But
All right.
yeah,
That's much better than getting shot or something.
I think so.
Because I think nowadays, especially like with this COVID thing and everybody being so angry, it's went down a little bit since the election's over, but people are still really angry. So I'd be really worried about doing that.
Yeah, it's probably not worth it.
All right. So we know what Val does. Not much. So go ahead and cut her off. Just saying.
I'm not telling you what kind of car I drive.
Okay. All right, we're going to be back. We're going to take a little break. Also, men are more likely than women to respond aggressively, especially those between 18 and 24. Watch out for the young ones.
I believe it.
And those with children are more likely to retaliate road rage than those without. That's crazy.
Scary.
It is. Got the kids in the car. I'm running them off the road. It's really bad when the kids are in the back of the car helping. Remember when our nephew,
sticking their finger out the window?
Yeah, Clint, our nephew, one time. Yeah, somebody cut off Grandpa, and Grandpa was yelling, and he turned around in the back window and he gave him the finger, but it was his index finger. We'll be back. Stay right here, KCHW Chihuahua.
Your KCHW Morning Show, made possible by a donation from God-Fearing Brothers Auto Center. God-Fearing Brothers specializes in auto services, including repair, maintenance, and detailing. They also stock tires, provide collision repairs, including glass, and they have an auto sales lot on the corner of Highway 395 and Main Street at the light. For more information, you can visit the Auto Service Center at 806 East Main in Chihuahua. Find them online at godfearingbrothers.com or by phone at 509-935-6414.
The Public News Service Daily Newscast for December 14th, 2021. I'm Mike Moen. Officials in Kentucky have warned that counties where tornadoes killed dozens of people could be without heat, water, or electricity in frigid temperatures for weeks or longer. Authorities say the high level of destruction was hindering their ability to tally the damage from Friday night storms. At least 88 people, including 74 in Kentucky, were killed by the tornado outbreak that also destroyed a nursing home in Arkansas, heavily damaged an Amazon distribution center in Illinois, while creating more devastation in Tennessee and Missouri. In Washington, the House panel investigating last January's Capitol insurrection voted Monday to recommend contempt charges against former White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows. The move comes as lawmakers demand his testimony about former President Donald Trump's actions before and during the attack. The panel wants to ask about Trump's efforts to overturn the election in the weeks before the insurrection, including Meadows' outreach to states and his communications with members of Congress. Turning to the pandemic, this year's Christmas holiday might have more of a traditional feel for families than 2020 did. But in states like Minnesota, healthcare providers say hospitals remain stretched thin by COVID cases. That's prompted state officials and advocates for older residents to convey the importance of booster shots leading up to Christmas and New Year's Day. Kathy McClear, state director for AARP Minnesota, says with the holidays fast approaching, it's important to keep following the advice of trusted health experts. She notes the key right now is that immunity is waning for people who got their shots in the first wave of vaccinations.
We know that doctors, medical professionals, health officials, they've all found that COVID vaccines are highly effective at reducing the risk of severe illness, but that protection does begin to decrease after several months, and boosters can help raise that protection back to a higher level.
McClear says communicating with family and friends ahead of a gathering also is important.
Maybe ask your guests who are coming to your house if they are vaccinated and boosted, and it still makes sense to take all of those other precautions too, like masking, social distancing, hand washing.
And she says getting tested is another helpful precaution. With new coronavirus variants spreading, the CDC now urges all adults to get a booster shot 6 months after receiving their initial dose. The Air Force has discharged 27 people for refusing to get the COVID-19 vaccine, making them what officials believe are the first service members to be removed for disobeying the mandate to get the shots. The Pentagon earlier this year required the vaccine for all members of the military, including active duty, National Guard, and the reserves. Each of the services set its own deadlines and procedures for the mandate, and the Air Force set the earliest deadline. This is PNS. Educators, parents, and the American Federation of Teachers New Hampshire filed a lawsuit yesterday against the state's so-called Divisive Concepts Bill, which restricts teaching of concepts such as systemic racism and gender identity. Lily Bolke has more.
Groups say the bill, which was included in New Hampshire's budget bill, is unconstitutionally vague and violates provisions of the state's own constitution that require teaching accurate history and social studies. Deb Howes with AFT New Hampshire says the bill unfairly discriminates against educators.
The boundaries of this law are ridiculously unclear. It makes it nearly impossible for teachers to know what they're allowed to teach about historic and societal concepts such as racism, sexism, gender identity, or discrimination.
The state's educational commissioner has created a webpage for people to file complaints about teachers. Since then, some educators have reported online harassment and attacks. I'm Lily Bolke reporting.
In California, a case that could put so-called death doulas out of business gets a hearing this week before a federal judge. These individuals support families emotionally through the process of losing a loved one, educate people on their options, and sometimes wash and dress the body and assist with home funerals or green burials. The state wants to require them to get a funeral director's license. Jess Peasley is an attorney with the nonprofit Compassion and Choices, which has filed an amicus brief to join the case. She says the license would require doulas to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to buy a funeral home equipped to embalm and store bodies.
They don't embalm. They aren't transporting the body. They aren't offering crematorium services. And they're not doing anything that would put themselves or others at risk of bloodborne viruses, things like that.
2 years ago, the California Cemetery and Funeral Board ordered the doulas at Full Circle of Living and Dying in Nevada County to become licensed funeral directors or cease operations. The doulas sued, and a preliminary injunction allowed them to stay in business. The Bureau declined to comment. The Colorado Oil and Gas and Conservation Commission has released new draft rules to ensure that taxpayers aren't on the hook for abandoned oil and gas wells. But critics say the commission has failed to address the need to monitor wells into the future. Kate Christensen with the Group 350 Colorado says wells are plugged with concrete, which can crack. She points to a plugged well in Erie that was discovered to be leaking significant amounts of toxic methane close to an elementary school.
There's another one in Broomfield that has cost the town $500,000. It was already plugged and abandoned and started leaking methane into a neighborhood. So these financial assurances don't take that into account at all.
Christensen says the commission also should require companies to set aside enough money to ensure so-called orphan wells can be fully restored. This is Mike Moen for Public News Service, member and listener supported. Find our rate trust indicators at publicnewsservice.org.
A 1 and a 2. Part 2. All right, Val, I got a Christmas question for you.
Okay.
Santa Claus is the second most recognizable icon in the world. Who's first?
Is it a religious figure?
It is not.
Oh.
Santa Claus, the most second recognizable icon in the world. Who's number one?
Oh my gosh.
He's bigger than Santa,
hard.
and it's not Jesus.
Well, that's why I asked about the religious figure.
That's what I would have thought too.
Yeah. And so is this like a mythical?
Yes.
Oh. Easter Bunny?
Nope. You think the Easter Bunny would be more recognizable than Santa?
I just don't know. I'm just I guess I was thinking the second after Santa. So this is more recognizable.
More
than
recognizable
Santa
than
Claus.
Santa, and it is not a religious icon.
Oh my gosh, I have absolutely no idea.
Believe it or not.
E.T.?
No, Mickey Mouse.
Oh.
The most recognizable icon in the world is Mickey Mouse. I find that
Mickey
hard to
Mouse.
believe, actually.
Well, I mean, think of there's Disney Land and Disney World and Disney. I mean, don't they have some in other countries?
Yes, they do. Yes.
Okay.
So that's why. So
that makes sense then. All right.
All right. Christmas would be better if men took care of it.
Prove it.
Over a quarter would ditch the turkey for steak or takeout.
Oh, that's not my husband at all. He wants a traditional Thanksgiving or Christmas dinner.
Half of us would never bother sending Christmas cards.
My husband will send the Christmas cards because I refuse.
Okay.
Because I'm like, I am not sending people a Christmas card that I don't talk to the rest of the year in any other way. And so he asked me he knows the answer, but he asked me the other day, so are you going to send a Christmas card to so-and-so? I'm like, honey, for the last 10 years, I've refused to do Christmas cards. Why are you even asking?
40% of us would cancel the visits to the in-laws. Just yours, though.
I refuse to answer on the
and there would be
that it may incriminate me.
There would be dramatically less spending on gifts. Yes, there would. All right, Man Christmas.
We don't spend a lot of money on gifts, so yeah, I don't know. That's
you used to though one. When the kids are young,
Oh yeah,
I enjoy that too, not having to spend as much money on gifts. All right, let's do birthdays as we go into this second part of our show today. Birthdays today here in Chewelah. Shirley Stolp, Sean Buick, Donna and Dave Wilson having an anniversary. There you go. Round of applause for everybody. You know them, you love them. Tell them we were talking about them on the radio. Don't tell them what we said. All right. Well, you can tell them. It's okay.
You can tell them. They might guess.
They probably would guess since it is their birthday. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. What is this what I think it is? Oh, no. Let's move on. Celebrity birthdays, Val.
Oh, we don't have very many today. Excuse me. I keep trying to cough here. Dee Wallace from Cujo and Elliot's mom in E.T. the Extraterrestrial is 73 today.
She always irritated me.
Oh, really?
Sorry, just saying.
Okay.
Right.
Archie Kao from Chicago PD is 52. Jackson Rathbone from Twilight Movies is 37. And Vanessa Hudgens is 33 today.
I get kind of weird about actors. There's some that if they bother me, I simply cannot watch anything they're in because I just find them personally irritating. It's like I couldn't be their friend.
If you can't be their friend, then you're not watching them on TV.
Yeah. Actor David Morris, he's always a supporting actor. I mean, he just irritates me. And like the other night, I started a movie and he was in it and I went, no, and I had to shut it off. I was really excited because it was a Samuel Jackson movie, and I was getting all, I'm going to watch this. And I was like, no.
Oh, man.
And I literally did shut it off. It's probably the same thing that happens with me in this radio show for some people.
They just shut it off.
Oh, yeah, that Scott guy's on. Just turn it off. Turn it off.
I can't think of any actor that irritates me bad enough that I would turn off the show. Huh. I'll have to think about that now.
There's a couple singers out there that will make me turn off the radio, too.
Yeah, I know.
Just a couple. Bette Midler.
Just a couple? I thought it was anything that was country.
No, that's not true. You actually, when you were doing music, put a couple country songs on this station that I still play.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
All right, it happened today. I like to call it history. In 1903, on the 14th of December, the Wright brothers made their first attempt to fly with the Wright Flyer at Kitty Hawk, North Carolina. It crashed. 3 days later, after repairs, they got it to fly a little bit.
A little bit.
A little bit. 1959, Motown record label was founded in Detroit by Berry Gordy. Jump up from 1959 to 77, and it was the film Saturday Night Fever. Oh, yeah.
Night Fever, Night Fever.
I knew you'd do it. 2003, U.S. President George Bush announced the capture of Saddam Hussein. 2012, skip that one. 2016, Amazon announced its first delivery by drone 1.2 miles from a warehouse in the UK. Why aren't they doing that here?
I didn't realize that it had been. I mean, we're going on, what, 6 years? Wow.
Yeah, you're there. What's going on with this drone thing, you guys? Dragging your feet? All right, 2019, the Bel Air mansion featured in the TV series The Beverly Hillbillies sold for $150 million, becoming California's most expensive property and Val's new home.
That's right. I'm liking the cement pond.
Cement pond. You got to say it that way.
The cement pond.
Cement. All right, special events. We go to Val.
It's the AKC Championship begins today.
Woof, woof.
Yeah, never watch it, never will. Today is Monkey Day. Never celebrated it, never will.
Get a trunk monkey. They're awesome.
Yoga Day.
Oh, I love yogurt.
Yoga.
Oh, yoga day.
You just like yoga pants.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was going to say. And I'm not into yoga, but I sure like those pants.
And today is, just in case you need to finish up your Christmas shopping, it's free shipping day.
Oh. You know, I look pretty good in yoga pants, too.
I was going to say it, but I didn't want it to be creepy.
Oh, you think I look good in yoga pants, too? That is creepy. I'm so glad you didn't say it, Val. What's the number of the day?
100,000.
Okay.
And that is the tons of potting soil sold by Walmart. Just Walmart every year.
Just Walmart. Okay. That's an interesting. Why would they even put that in there?
Who cares?
Uh-huh. All right. Things you didn't know yesterday, Val.
Okay.
It's time to level up your IQ.
All right.
Takes about 45 seconds for a Twinkie to explode in the microwave.
Oh, wow.
Can we test this?
I was going to say, doesn't it depend on the wattage of the microwave?
Ooh. I want to see that. Do they actually explode?
I don't know. We're curious now. Kids, do not try this at home.
Does it explode bigger if you leave it in the wrapper?
Oh.
Because then it probably goes bang.
Yeah.
Oh. I can't eat them because there's too much sugar, but I want to buy some Twinkies just to make them go boom in the microwave.
You're cleaning up the inside of that microwave, so do what you want.
I'm going to do it in the DJ microwave so the other guys will open it up and go, oh, what happened here?
What is that?
All right. I'm moving to a county in Georgia called Butts.
Butts?
Butts. Butts. Butts County, Georgia.
Huh.
All right. Who was the first man to save the world hell on primetime television?
Oh, let's see. Prime time. I know the first one to say damn.
Who was that?
It was in Gone with the Wind. So it was frankly, Scarlett, I don't give a damn. That was the first time damn was ever said on television.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, or in a movie or anything. So the first one to say hell.
I can give you a hint.
Okay.
He was also... Oh, I just blew it. He was also the first person to kiss a black woman on TV.
Well, that would be William Shatner. Then.
William Shatner, first person to kiss a black woman on TV and the first person to say hell on primetime television.
You know, it's funny because that's where my brain was going, but sometimes I sound so stupid with my answers that I didn't know whether I should go there or not.
Yeah, it would have been the first time that someone said Captain Kirk and you went, you're right. Because usually she answers Captain Kirk to everything.
That's right.
There's a county in Georgia.
Day when he was young and cute.
Yeah. Back in Georgia, there's a county called what, Val? And she'd go, William Shatner.
Either that or wino.
Wino. Does it have to do with wine? The average person releases 1 to 3 pints of flatulence in 12 to 25 episodes throughout the day.
There's a whole nother thing in Bits and Breaks about farting.
Oh, I know. I thought it was too much because it was like 5 paragraphs. And I was like, no, I can't read 5 paragraphs about farts. Stuck with it anyways. Average yawn usually lasts about 6 seconds.
The average yawn?
Yes.
Mm,
And
okay.
here's your COVID tip for things to avoid. The average person will put their hands on their eyes 14 times a day.
I think I've gotten so much better about that, especially, just you get out of the grocery store, whatever, and I'm like, my eye really itches and I won't touch it until I've sanitized my hands.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I've gotten way better of, doing other things when your eye itches, maybe use a knuckle or something like that. But yeah, I mean, I used to be really bad. I know I did.
I go for the shirt and just go ahead and expose my big belly in the store.
Well, that works.
Yeah, I've got to wipe the eye.
Yeah.
All right.
People stay away from you that way.
That's
too.
right. Other things men should never do.
That list is so large.
Yes. Sideways baseball caps.
Oh, yes. Don't do that.
Ponytails. Oh.
You like your ponytail though when your hair is long, don't you?
Yeah. I'm kind of bummed about that. And mullets is on the list. Oh.
What? They're just wrecking your fun for the
I
day.
know. I did trim the mullet down a little bit, though, so it's not quite a mullet now. All right. Short sleeve dress shirts with ties.
I've never seen that.
Speedos.
Never do a Speedo.
There's a movie with that came out when they opened the theaters back up with Ryan Reynolds called, I don't know, Free Guy. And I think he's wearing a short sleeve shirt with a tie and the whole thing. He looks like a nerd and gets beat up a lot. Speedos, guys should never wear them. Tie-dye, anything.
Really?
Yeah, that's what it says.
Jeans. I'm okay with tie-dye, something.
Jeans with elastic waists.
Yes. That, and gentlemen, please do not go out in sweatpants. It may work. I mean, if you're just coming from the gym, fine. But otherwise, don't go out in sweatpants.
Yeah, use a onesie like me.
That's right.
Black socks with white sneakers.
Or white socks with black sneakers.
Either way.
Yeah.
Socks with sandals.
Never. That's the same guy wearing the sweatpants, I'm telling you.
Enough cologne to have passerbys notice you're wearing cologne? I have a buddy, and he actually stopped. He would go places, and he'd hop in the car, and I'd be like, dude, you're giving me an asthma attack. What is that?
Do people wear cologne much anymore, though?
I still smell
it was a deal like it used to be.
I still smell it on guys once in a while.
Yeah. I used to love like the musk smells on Brad, but I don't remember the last time I wore perfume or he did. I mean, it's been decades.
Plus, it's really hard to catch a muskrat and get them to spray you.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah. Things guys should never wear, dangling earrings. This is just, this is really ruining everything for me. No mullet, no Speedo,
what are you gonna do?
No dangly earrings. College apparel from a school you didn't attend.
What if your kids attended it, though?
I think that's okay then. That's a pass.
All right.
Clothes with team logos outside a stadium. Huh?
I don't know.
All right. A photo journalist vest, unless on assignment in Iraq. Cargo shorts, unless your job requires that you wear them, or your dad wrangling multiple kids at a park or Disney World.
I think the one I'll go with that too. The cargo shorts or any types of shorts for a gentleman that's really short, and now the shorts go below their knee.
Watch it.
And it's
easy.
I don't know. Maybe below the knee, but when it goes mid shin, then it just looks like you've got extreme high waters. It's just not a flattering look. Don't go with that long a short. I can go below the knee, not to the shin. What? I'm helping you out here because you are, your dating is a little on the cold side right now. So I'm just trying to help you out, brother.
All right, maybe those knickers should go then.
Yes, exactly. It just makes you look shorter.
And the baseball unit, you think the baseball outfit too, uniform? Go?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Darn it. All right. Other things guys should not wear. This is a long list. Men should never wear a long nose hair.
You're wearing that?
Well, yeah.
That and I'll give you one if we're talking about that sort of stuff. Guys, trim your eyebrows. I'm not, it's like the big old bushy ones, especially with people as they age. You got to trim those things up.
My daughters are always yelling at me for that. Trim your eyebrows, Dad. What about this nose hair? Should I braid that? What's really embarrassing, if you notice, you have long nose hair. I don't know if women have that problem or if it's just a guy thing. But is when you notice that it's grown to the point where it's sticking out your nose and you're like, oh, I've been walking around like that?
Especially when you notice it because the lighting's different in like a restaurant bathroom. Because then there's like nothing you can do about it. And then you're like super self-conscious of the dark nose hair, but you can't do anything because you're not at home to take care of it.
Long ear hair.
Yeah, I think that becomes an issue for older, I shouldn't say elderly, but older men. I think they start losing hair on their head and it grows on their ears instead.
Yeah, I remember I've got a good buddy. He's got almost 10 years on me. And I just popped over to Facebook to see if he was listening. His name's Chuck, but I call him Ron sometimes. No, his name's Ron, but I call him Chuck sometimes. But then I see Chuck Ritchie's listening, and he said cheap and easy, just like Scott, but I don't know which story he was referring to.
It fits for anyone.
Anyone. Cheap
Ron,
and easy, just like Scott.
It fits for anyone.
That was Chuck. That was Chuck Ritchie.
Chuck Ron? Ron Chuck.
Other one.
Okay.
You're totally confused by what I said. All right. So this other guy named Ron had really, really fuzzy ears. And I was kept staring at his ears. And I'm like, wow, I have never seen ears with that. And it's blonde, so you don't really notice it. Because I've known him for years.
So it's just fuzz. It's not like long, dark hairs, just fuzz.
But they're fairly long. His ears are furry. I'm just saying they are, and I'm like,
keeps them warm in the winter.
Yeah, and any ear hair is bad, also on the list. But his was fuzzy, and it's all over the ear, and I was like, dude, your ears are so hairy. I've never seen ears like that. And he turns and he looks at me all serious, and he goes, yeah, I got hair growing everywhere, but where I want it, because he's bald on top. Got hair growing everywhere, but where I want it. So there you go. Long nose hair, long ear hair, any ear hair, all on the list. Another thing guys should not wear is novelty neckties. There goes SpongeBob. Ooh. All right. It's my SpongeBob Christmas tie.
matches his SpongeBob boxers.
Yes. And usually that's all I wear to Christmas. Whimsically patterned suspenders. I know when I wear my suspenders that have musical notes on them, I look a little goofy.
I think that's okay. I don't mind that one.
All right. Electronics clipped to your waist unless your occupation requires it.
I will agree with that. I think we're past the point of you having your phone clipped to your waist.
And your pager.
Yes.
And your BlackBerry. There was a movie, the guy was like that. He was like a nerd in there. I remember that. And he had all that stuff clipped to him. All right. Speaking of nerds... Val?
Yes.
Are you ready?
I hope so.
The following program is closed captioned for the thinking impaired.
Things are out of order today. It's because I'm thinking impaired.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions. I want to have them answered immediately.
All right, Val. Over your lifetime, you're going to use over 68,000 gallons of water. Doing what?
I'm going to go off something that's not what you would think. I'm going to go washing your hands.
No, brushing your teeth.
Oh,
brushing
okay.
your teeth. But close. And I like how you decided you weren't going to go with the typical showering.
Exactly.
In 1896, these cost about 16 cents. Next year, they'll cost between 118 and 785. Happens every 4 years.
Every 4 years would be a leap year. But what you spent on something, huh?
Mm-hmm. In 1890,
a calendar. No, you don't spend $785 for a calendar. Forget that answer.
So they cost about 16 cents in 1896, and now if you want one, it's between $118 and $785. Happens every 4 years.
I'm thinking what happens every 4 years would be leap year, presidential election. What am I missing?
Big one. Torch and a flame.
Oh, the Olympics.
Yes, the Olympics. Tickets to the Olympics between $118 and $785.
Well, now it'd be every 2 years because you got the Summer Olympics, and then 2 years later you have the Winter Olympics.
Did they do it up like that?
Yeah.
Don't tell anybody I don't pay attention.
Okay.
All right. Walmart sells about 100,000 tons of what each year? We already covered this.
It's potting soil.
There
All
you
right,
go.
Thank you. All right.
That's what you call a freebie.
And you still have to lead me by the nose.
Yes, I did. Does it hurt?
Yes.
All right. Let's see.
Don't stick your fingers up there so far next time.
Okay. Besides being colors, what do the words orange and silver have in common?
Nothing rhymes with them.
You are exactly correct. Big round of applause for Val.
That's not a big round. Come on. That's one clapping hand.
That's all I got, baby. All right. Breakfast bingo. All right. Home of the Celtics.
Baltimore.
No. How about, let's see, home of the Celtics.
Is it Baltimore, though?
No, it's not. A good B name, though. Home of the Celtics.
Boston.
Boston. It's the long name for the flu.
Influenza.
The U.S. space program is controlled by this agency.
NASA.
He's mean and green and he steals your presents.
Grinch.
And it ain't a martini unless it has one of these.
Olive.
There you go. You just spelled bingo. Congratulations, Val.
How about another round of applause, please?
Okay. This is... That's what people usually do to her. Just laugh.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. I guess since we're doing things out of order, let's go ahead and wrap up the show with the fun stuff. Get out your frying pan.
Slap some bacon on a biscuit and let's go. We're burning daylight.
It's the world of strange. A world gone wacky.
Out here, due process is a bullet.
And some of the scariest people on the planet.
I think you're bluffing. Be afraid.
You know, you look mighty pretty when you get mad.
It's your odd news on KCHW.
Just sit back and enjoy the show.
Oh, yeah, the world of the wonderfully weird. We always start off with the news attack where the first sentence is true and the second sentence, well, a bad joke. And Val gets to kick off the news attack.
All right. In the U.S., COVID-19 cases are highest in places where people think COVID-19 is a hoax.
Ooh.
Oh.
Imagine that.
Really. The good news is that they're confident Santa will bring them a cure for what they don't have.
Family argument ended with the man in Croatia being arrested after he used his front end loader to repeatedly pick up and drop his son's truck. Huh. If you're his dad, I think that's legal.
If dad paid for the truck anyway.
Yeah. He kept pleading with the cops not to arrest him so that he wouldn't miss his anger management class.
Researchers say moderate drinking may lengthen your life while too much may shorten it. And absolutely no drinking at all will make you difficult to be around.
Just a little.
Just a little.
Russian President Vladimir Putin says he once had a second job as a taxi driver to bring in extra income. Now, of course, he has his hacker team send a few million emails to unsuspecting Americans willing to hand over a credit card number.
You know, he has moved up in the world.
He is. Mm-hmm.
The Dr. Oz TV show is going away and will be replaced by a show hosted by his daughter, who's not a doctor. She was born in the room when a doctor brought her into the room, which qualifies her to be a TV doctor.
Oh.
Huh.
Huh.
The logic.
So what are they going to call it?
Oh.
The Dr.
The
Oz
not
daughter
Dr.
show?
Oz show?
Something like that. According to a study, 71% of pregnant women get some form of anesthesia during childbirth, and 94% would like to receive some form of medication until their child is out of the house.
It's called wine.
Oh, it's available everywhere.
Exactly. You don't even need a prescription.
But you'll write them one, won't you, Val?
I will.
Doctor.
Dr. Val. According to a survey, around 12% of us are unhappy with what we get for Christmas each year, which is also the percentage of people who received fruitcake last year.
Mm-hmm. You know, my favorite thing is those, what are they, like, I don't know what the name of the company is. Petridge Farms, like the meat boxes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I love those things. That's an awesome gift. Just saying.
No, just in case anybody's looking for a
Just in
gift.
case anybody's listening, you just drop one of those off at the door.
All right.
Study found that diet soda is bad for your teeth.
Really?
Yeah, doctors recommend opening the cans with your hands.
Thank goodness. I was worried I was going to have to give up diet soda.
My arthritis gets any worse. That's how I'm going to start opening my cans.
Yeah. I would imagine that it's the acid in the diet soda that's bad for your teeth.
Well, could be. I'd like to shake up a can and then open it with my teeth.
Cleans out your nostrils.
Yeah, makes my skin soft.
The acid eating away that layer of dead skin.
Oh, wow. Where did you get all dark? All right, Val, let's go on to wacky but true, but let's skip the second story about the man found dead in the road because it's just not funny.
No, we don't.
Okay.
We want it to be funny.
Yeah, we
All
want it
right?
to be funny.
All right. A man charged with DUI after his wife chose Uber.
Okay.
Nashville police say a 32-year-old man was standing outside his crashed vehicle, which went through a utility pole when they arrived at the scene Saturday night. Police say he reeked of alcohol. He explained that he and his wife had been out to dinner and he consumed 2 beers and an old-fashioned cocktail. His wife had taken an Uber home, but he decided to drive. When asked by cops for his ID, the man provided his credit card. He was taken to jail.
Oh, really?
Really?
Damn, your drunk tests are hard.
That's really, really sad. A man from Brazil was in Germany when he got an alert on his phone telling him that someone might be breaking into his home. Sure enough, when the guy looked at the security app on his phone, he saw the intruder. And that's when he phoned his wife back in Brazil, who called police. In less than 15 minutes, police officers had surrounded the residence. Why is that?
Wow.
That's not funny.
Yeah, why is that wacky?
It's not funny at all.
I think whoever was writing these up today had too much eggnog.
He said, there was a big notification that said, sorry about today's jokes. They're not going to be posted till really, really late at night because I'm traveling. Well, you know what he was doing.
I don't know what kind of trip he's taking.
Uh-huh.
Wow! Wow! All I can say is wow!
All right, read the next one, and if it doesn't make any sense, we'll just stop.
Okay. An Australian man had no idea how 2 coins became lodged near his appendix. The 71-year-old discovered the coins when he went for an x-ray after a minor car accident. He thinks he swallowed them when he was a kid, but can't remember swallowing them.
Huh. Where did these coins come from? What's really strange is I had a dream I had a penny in my neck.
In your neck?
Yeah,
so not in
just
your throat,
like
but in
last
your neck.
night, but not in my throat. It was like tapping. Going, there's a penny in my neck. I don't know what that meant in the dream. You analyze your dreams. What does a penny in your neck mean?
And how did you know it was a penny?
Because it just felt like that size, and I remember who was with me in the dream, but I had them touching it. Does that feel like a penny? And they're like, yeah, it does.
So they held up a nickel to it. Oh no, too big. Dime. Oh no, too small.
Nah, it wasn't that clever.
Okay. You just thought somebody said a penny for your thoughts.
It's here in my neck, so I don't get it. All right, this story is going to worry me because it's really wrong. All right.
Okay.
Guy from, long. A guy from Berkeley, California has gone viral on Nextdoor. What is Nextdoor? Is that an app?
I thought it was like one of those neighborhood apps where you can, share information in your community, but
Oh, I think you're right. I think you're right. He went viral, but not because he posted about a late night car backfire or a found cat. Phil had posted, "Stop stealing my cabbage soup recipe. Listen, my family claims cabbage. We've claimed cabbage since the I can't say that. In the old country. Sounds like a bad word. Fermented cabbage, stuffed cabbage, cabbage soup, you name it. We crush cabbage. My great-grandma crushed, my bubby crushed, my father crushed, and among all that greatness, I may be the high watermark. The issue, while out walking his dog near his Berkeley home one night, Mr. Phil picked up on the scent of cabbage soup that smelled just like his family's. His post goes on to accuse a neighbor of stealing the recipe. He says, my nose doesn't lie, you have my secret. I don't know how. To date, he has not found the culprit.
Oh, my gosh. You can tell your cabbage soup from anybody else's just by smelling it?
Yes.
My goodness. I think he has more going on than something that he's putting up his nose, I'm thinking.
As it turns out, this is not the first time he's taken to next door to exhibit his quirky sense of humor. In fact, says Mr. Phil, I found the bar for people finding something funny on Nextdoor is the lowest of anywhere in the world. In March 2020, he wrote a post asking meat eaters to be more considerate and only grow vegetables so as not to upset the stomachs of vegan runners. That post, too, was meant as a joke, but you wouldn't guess it from how Fox News actually covered it.
So we have to get to the end to realize that both postings were a joke.
Both postings were a joke.
Okay. All right. Well, you've got a funny guy living right next to you.
I don't know about that.
You got a lot of nerve, honey.
All right. I have another one, all right, from yesterday when we weren't here. I just wanted to share it because it's about Polish people. And I know we got a couple Polish people here in town.
Okay.
In Poland, a man called police because he heard his girlfriend calling for help from behind the walls of his father's home. Police said they found the man had destroyed a wall inside the home, which belongs to his father, who was out of town at the time of the incident. Police did not find his girlfriend, but did discover he'd been drinking.
Oh, really?
They will do everything possible to test us, but they will only test their own embarrassment.
It's funny. I think my girlfriend's still in the wall, too.
Because you knew you put her there.
Yeah. I did? Oh, yeah. Hey, don't tell the cops, okay?
My lips are sealed.
Okay.
I got my 2 hands up. I surrender. Come and lock me up. Here forever.
All right, and that, our friends, is our show for today. I want to thank my sister Val all the way from Deer Park. Thank you so much for being here, Val. Yay.
Thank you so much for having me.
Real applause for you. You got that? Real applause.
Real applause.
All right, and then something just for fun? I didn't play. I'm sorry.
Oh.
How about something for us?
Great job, team. Head back to base for debriefing and cocktails.
And to answer your question,
cocktails.
And yours can be a glass of wine.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, coming up tonight on the radio, it's Tuesday. That means we have some jazz music. Fires up at 6 o'clock. You want to be here for the great Dr. Jazz. Other than that, I'm Scott.
And I'm Val.
And we want you to have a great day, don't we?
We do.
All right. Take care.
You talking to me? You talking to me?
Wow! 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 All I can say is wow! You got a lot of nerve, honey.
You're listening to Northern Lights Public Radio on 102.7 KCHW. Chewelah, Loon Lake, Clayton.
It's 8:57.
Your KCHW morning show made possible by a donation from